Hey everybody, this is PETEYBOO playing and glitching Pokemon Blue version for the Game Boy and other handheld systems that it was in fact able to be played on. Last time, we had completed the Pokemon Tower and gotten the Pokeflute from the perverted old man, and this time it seems like we're going south a little bit. I have already faced these two trainers, and thus do not need to face them again. So, I'm trying to think. Is this... yeah, I think this music here, as you will hear it as I am finishing this battle, is probably my favorite music in the game in Pokemon Blue. It's just, it captures the adventure of, you know, just going out on your own with, you know, with a single Pokemon and, like, 5 Pokeballs. Much better than I think, Route 1 does. Let's listen to it. So yeah, that is probably my favorite music in the Pokemon series. Just, I really like it. I do think that if that was the Route 1 music instead of whatever the Route 1 music that I can't think of right now is, it would probably be one of the most famous, like, you know, music tracks in video game history. I mean, obviously, I don't think it would ever take over the Super Mario Bros. 1 theme, but it's still, like, I just cannot describe how much I absolutely love that song of Route 11 and whatever route this is. I'm more associated with Route 11 because Route 11, by the way, is the route or route, however you want to say it, where I faced that guy with the horsey and whatever in order to get Growlithe earlier. It's basically the useless... Holy crap, my speed is so high. It's basically the useless route of Pokemon. You have absolutely no reason to ever really go there. And it's basically there just to have good music. And have my cat bound down the stairs with endless energy while meowing. You probably heard something like him falling down the stairs or something. I assure you that he did not do that, and he is a little bit more adept at controlling his body than that, but he continues to meow like, oh my god, shut the hell up. So here we have the reason why we needed to get the Pokeflute, as far as I know. I think there's a way to skip it, I just can't remember how to do it, and that's why I'm not doing it. So, a sleeping Pokemon blocks the way. Oh no. Let us, use the Pokeflute. The Pokeflute, by the way, will work on your own Pokemon to awaken them. It basically completely nullifies the use of Awakening, which is kind of weird in a way, like, because it's infinite uses. So, here we have a giant, fat cat bear thing. We're gonna try to catch it. I'm not sure how well this will go, but I do need something that knows strength, and this guy will know strength as soon as I capture him. Yes. Hopefully he does not use Rest, because Rest is like the single worst thing he could use, because it will remove his paralysis and also fully restore his health, which is not good. Luckily, I believe, I'm not sure, normal sleep can wake up anytime, even the first turn. Apparently I'm wrong. I thought Rest would be guaranteed the last 2 or 3 turns. That's unfortunate there. Well, whatever. Not all is lost. Right here... There it is. A Hyper Potion. I knew it was somewhere there. I have not memorized all item locations, but there are some that I have. I believe this guy will give me... Yeah, here he is, right here. He will give me the item finder if I have, like, 30... yes. But I will say no, because I do not want the item finder to clog up, valuable. That's the word I want to use. Inventory space. By the way, if we go back here, we're back here in Route 11, which also has this amazing music. I'm going to face this guy real quick because there's an item I want above these shrubberies. And that item, I believe, is an ether or an elixir. Or an escape route. One of those two. I knew it started with an E. Also, there's a large area back here that may or may not contain something. I forget. I don't believe it does. But I don't want to face that guy. These guys are weak at this point. As if the whole game hasn't been weak already. Although it has provided me with some sort of challenge. Very slight, but it does exist. I think this guy is a guitarist, and he will have, like, electric-type Pokemon. There we go. Electricity is my specialty. See? I know way too much about this video game here. He has a rocker, yes. And he has a Voltorb, which will probably kick my ass because I have electric-type and Swift. And also Quick Attack, but that's relatively unimportant. I could paralyze him. And yeah, he knows Sonic Boom, which is a guaranteed 20 damage every single turn. And he'll probably use that as much as he possibly can, unless I completely destroy him. An Electrode. This is a tough Pokemon because it is apparently very, very weak and also knows how to blow me up. Moves Self-Destruct and Explosion are very, very, very powerful in the original games because, and actually I think up to Generation 3 or 4, because what they did, they already have a power. Self-Destruct has a power of 200, I believe, and Explosion has a power of 250. What they did was they halved your defense before using it, so that gave them an effective power of twice that, 400 or 500. And I'm not sure if there were any Pokemon that could get a same type attack bonus. I think Snorlax, of all things, could learn Self-Destruct through a tutor in one game, but yeah, that would be a power of 7, no, it would be a power of 600, because I don't think you can learn Explosion. But yeah, that's kind of weird, but now, in Generation 5 and on at least, that whole having defense thing does not happen anymore, and it's a slightly more fair move. Explosion, a weird Pokemon that can learn Explosion, or either Explosion or Self-Destruct, they're both essentially the same to me, even though they do vary in power by quite a bit. Gengar can learn one of them, and it's really weird because Gengar is not the type of Pokemon that you would expect would be able to learn that. There is a glitch in this game that I'm not going to do because it involves trading, and I can't trade, that sets all your Pokemon to a Bulbasaur that knows Explosion, which is pretty much the funniest thing I could ever think of. Just, Bulbasaur, use Explosion, and then you can put his anime voice, Bulbasaur, and then he explodes, exactly like that. using a farting sound. But that is because it apparently sets a lot of bytes to, I think 153, which may or may not be in hex, I'm not sure. But basically that corresponds to a capital Z, which is, capital Z. The name of the glitch is ZZAZZ because a lot of the characters are switched to Z's after you perform the glitch, because, you know, it just does that. But it also corresponds, of course, to the number 153. It corresponds to Bulbasaur, and it corresponds to the move Explosion. So you get level 153 Bulbasaur that no explosion, which is, again, like I said, the funniest thing that I could possibly show in this game, but I can't because I can't trade, so that unfortunately will not be something that I'm able to do. What other glitches are there that I can't do? There are a bunch of them that involve trading Pokemon that otherwise I would have to get in, like, Pokemon Yellow and trade them here, because it's either that or the other way around. One of them, they just will not be stable and will probably crash the game, so I need to trade their equivalent form in Pokemon Yellow, which are different, by the way. Lots of Pokemon, like, not missing number, but, not, apostrophe M, which we'll get to, but a lot of them will have different Pokemon. For example, I believe the Pokemon that causes the ZZAZZ glitch is a Charizard apostrophe M in red and blue, but it is Q something something in yellow version. You can check Bulbapedia, search Generation 1 glitches, and that'll tell you exactly how to do it, because I'm not going to be able to show it, because I don't really feel like, you know, doing all this in yellow version again, just to do one single glitch. So, yeah, that is unfortunately something I'm not going to be able to do. But, yeah, there are a lot of glitches you can only do with trading. There's lots of glitches you can do that with battling, like, other people, trading other people, just being in the trade room with other people. These games were not exactly the least glitchy games in the world. I'm really not sure which game is glitchier, these games or Ocarina of Time, but they certainly fight each other for the prize. Nintendo has pretty much the best beta testers ever in the, you know, fact that they don't seem to do their job very well, and that basically means more fun for us, unless you get a situation like Twilight Princess, where apparently some Wii version owners would be completely stuck in a certain area of the game because they saved and quit at the wrong time, which, you know, it was only a problem for a very small amount of people, because it was at a point of the game where you probably weren't going to actually save and quit, so it'd be like, if you were called away to do something, that would be the, if you were called away to do something at that exact point in time, would be the only way that it would ever, you know, legitimately happen, and everyone else was probably just trolling. Tail Whip at level 36 or something? No, that's completely worthless. That's something else about these games. I keep, you know, ragging on these games. They're pretty good, but there are a lot of weird decisions, like, for one, learning Tail Whip this late is just completely worthless. Like, why would you ever want to learn Tail Whip when you probably have 4 good moves? It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. I need a Paralyze heal again. I also need a Super Potion. Yes, Super Potion. So, I do have backup Pokemon in case my Jolteon faints, but I think I'm going to speed up the rest of this route, and, yeah, I'll meet you once I get done most of the trainers. And here we get to see the ultimate power of the Poké-Flute as... where is it? There it is. We play the Poké-Flute in the middle of the battle. I'm not sure if this was, like, meant to actually be able to be used in the middle of the battle, but it is! So, hooray!
Yep, back to speed up time!
Okay, I seem to be done with all the trainers on that route, so... I'm gonna try to leave most of the trainers here. Well, these two I think I'm gonna face. So, the guy... right before... the second to last trainer I faced, before this guy, of course, I mean... said, "Do your Pokemon know how to fly yet?" Well... what do you think I'm trying to do, Mr. Game? I'm trying to get to a point in the game where I can fly, and then I can go... you know, back to places that I've been before, which does not amount to many places. Also, I probably should have picked up an antidote or two in the Pokemart, but I did not, so that's unfortunate. Muck. Okay, Muck is a pretty tough fight, here, even though it's 12 levels lower. It still could possibly be something of a challenge, but it seems to have chosen moves that make it not so much of a challenge, so there we go. That was easy enough. Wipeout! Yeah, you say. Have you heard of legendary Pokemon? Which legendary Pokemon? There are at least 4 in this game. In fact, there's like 7 or so if you include Dragonite. That's not a legendary Pokemon. Farfetch, if you don't know, is probably the most hated Pokemon in Pokemon, and not by the fans, by the creators. Maybe second most. Flareon is also fairly well hated, but at least Flareon can do something. Farfetch cannot. Farfetch is pretty much completely worthless in every way. Its stats are so bad, and it learns pretty much nothing that makes it of any use. Flareon has the potential to be useful if it learns a certain move, but that move did not exist until like Generation 4, so it's not really part of the discussion here. But Farfetch'd, basically the only way to save him is to allow him to evolve, which has not happened, and probably will not happen, because it seems as though Farfetch'd has pissed off someone at Game Freak, and they're probably not going to change it anytime soon. That's unfortunate, I guess. Well, I guess, you know, what would it evolve into? Who knows? But I'm going to walk into the grass here because I wanted to get into a Pokemon battle, obviously. So here we have Weepinbell, which is... why is the inside of his mouth white? I don't know. But he cannot learn Strength, so that is not something that I need. I'm going to keep as many trainers... well, not as many, but some trainers unfought. Just so I can possibly do a glitch later, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I need to, but I think this is the easiest place to do it. Maybe I'm thinking of something wrong. That's a big old fat mouse there. Yeah, maybe I am thinking of something wrong. Maybe I don't need to do what I'm thinking of doing. Why did I use Swift? Oh yeah, because he's an electric type, and using Thundershock would not be the greatest of ideas. Raichu does not seem to give a lot of experience. It's like, barely better than coughing. Oh, you're a little cutie. Oh, isn't that nice? Is this like a teacher or something? No, it's a beauty, okay. Well, that's good to know that you think... Oh my god, you have a giant pigeon. Pidgeotto's name in Japanese, by the way, is just pigeon. Like, a lot of people say, like, the new... I think I'm gonna learn a move here. Yes, double kick, a very good move. This is one that I really wanted to use. I'm gonna do quick attack. Double kick is a fighting type move, and thus will be very good against something like rock or normal types. Like this one right here. So let's see how... Oh my god, it looks so ugly. As I was saying, a lot of people try to get on the new games for being like, unoriginal or something. Like, for example, there's a garbage Pokemon, which I'll admit is probably not exactly the best design they could have chosen, but they always say like, oh, Generation 1 is so good, the newest ones are so unoriginal, like, oh, you get a freaking duck, and you already had a duck in Generation 1. And then, you just have to point out, like, there's Voltorb, which not only is just a Pokeball that has been, you know, given life, but its name is also incredibly unoriginal. And even worse than Voltorb is its evolution Electrode, because it really had no reason to have an evolution other than to just be a stronger living Pokeball. But at least Voltorb was a made-up name. Electrode is an actual word that they use to make the name of a Pokemon. So, and then you have Pokemon like Diglett, who evolves into something that is 3 of himself. Then you have Magnemite, which evolves into something that is 3 of himself. And then you have Koffing, which evolves into Weezing here, which is 2 of itself. And you have Doduo, who evolves into Dodrio, which has 1 extra head. And it's just like, people are blinded so much by nostalgia, like, it's kind of weird that they would say that so many of the new designs are boring and completely fail to, you know, acknowledge the fact that Generation 1 did not have that many real... Well, it did have some good original designs, but it had so many ones that weren't. For example, here's Grimer. When you evolve him, he gets bigger and slightly more menacing. Okay? I'm not sure how you could get less menacing than that face he was making, but, you know, that's not the point. But yeah, that's just something that I always found strange about people who just go on and on about how the original games were so much better. My favorite, generation is Generation 2. Like, I'll admit that the new ones are a lot better. Like, they have improved a lot, especially the experience system, incorporating the competitive stuff that, you know, almost no one knew of, other than people who are getting into competitive stuff. But, I mean, Generation 2 will always be my favorite to just go back and play. Generation 1, of course, is my favorite to just go and glitch up the place, because it is the easiest to do so. But, you know, at least I admit that, you know, there were flaws in the earlier games, and they are not to be taken lightly. So, that's something that I like to say once in a while. I'm Poison, that's pretty great. I may just have to skip the rest of these battles and just go on to the next city. Or I could just go to level 43. That can't be true. Okay, I'm gonna have to, like, walk around this girl. Oh, there's a trainer up there, that's... Oh no. I did not see that guy because he appeared. Well, at least he says he's a bird trainer, so I should be able to very quickly dispose of him. As I said before, maybe, poison does not take effect... Oh, wow, he has a Dodrio. Poison does not take effect if you defeat the Pokemon, your opponent, in that turn. So if I can just do one-hit KOs on each of his Pokemon, then I will not take any damage from poison. He leads off with the Dodrio and then goes with Doduo. That's weird. Very much unlike the trainers here. There are some trainer classes in later games that would use like not random teams, but they would have the same team, but they would throw out a random Pokemon first or something, and then switch to a random Pokemon depending on you know, whatever type advantage they might get. But for Generation 1, I think it's, you know, they always threw out the same Pokemon at the start and always threw out the same Pokemon when you defeated them, except in the case of your rival, who would generally try to go for the type advantage. And I think one of the Elite Four would randomly switch Pokemon in the middle of battle just to screw with you. I don't know why. We might see that near the end of this run. Here's another Farfetch'd. Completely worthless Pokemon. It's not gonna get any better until it actually gets an evolution or something. Cause it's basically... They're probably gonna troll us and give it like a pre-evolution. Just be like, oh, look how completely worthless this was. Huh. But, yeah. So I seem to not be losing a whole lot of, health here because I keep defeating these guys in one hit. And I think this might actually be the last trainer in this route that I'm going to face. But probably not. There's probably one, like, right here. Yep. But, next time on Glitching Pokemon Blue, we're gonna see what is in the next city. I'm sure a lot of you already know, but shh! Don't say anything, you jerks. It's been PETEYBOO, playing and glitching this game, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.